Good morning and welcome back to Kirkstone. It is a day full of dolorous glamour. It is a day which is both dark and unpleasant. There is a miasma of pestilence hanging over the horizon. It is a day that could only be described as dank in the extreme. However, you'll notice that I'm not in shot. I'm merely a distant voice from somewhere ethereal and undisclosed. And yet within your field of vision you will see a towering edifice of boxes which has lifted my mood to hitherto unprecedented levels of glee and jollity. Because you have in your field of vision something which could never ever be described as a haul. I'm loath even to describe it as a mega haul. I don't think we're quite at the hyper haul stage, but it is a large delivery if I were to refrain from entirely unnecessary and superfluous hyperbole. There are 3 boxes. And the great thing about these boxes, which are large, is that they are all from my favourite seller. These boxes are from KnobsandBlobs2, and that's Benjamin Bannister to his friends, Knobs and Blobs to those who don't know him well. KnobsandBlobs2 have sent me a very large consignment from hitherto undisclosed realms. Well, from Norfolk actually, somewhere like that. So we have in front of us a haul of such immensity, of such Brobdingnagian magnitude, that I don't think, in all honesty, I can do the entire haul in one go. So in an entirely gratuitous attempt to introduce serialization into the process of box opening, I'm going to do them one by one, I feel, because on average these boxes normally take me about 17 to 30 minutes, I think. That seems to be the range from previous videos, which would mean that with all the unnecessary badinage and excess commentary that I am prone to introduce, it's entirely likely that this would be over an hour's worth of obviously very fulfilling entertainment, but a huge chunk out of people's busy lives. So let's crack on. We'll make a start at a box. So here I am. Good morning. Welcome back to Kirkstone. I'm not going to show you the garden because it is so windy and grey and miserable that it would lower your spirits to the point where I could sever your mortal soul from your body. It really is grim out there. But let's make a crack on and see what Benjamin has sent. Now remember, Benjamin doesn't waste money on unnecessary technicalities like plant labels or pieces of paper. It is his only flaw, which sometimes leads to a merry-go-round and a goose chase trying to identify some of the plants he sent, especially if within one particular delivery there are 3 or 4 plants that look very similar. I do remember an occasion quite recently when there were 4 or 5 members of the genus Cactus, and to say that they were similar to each other would be a gross understatement. So in this first haul we have, from where I am, what looks like 4 plants which are globular, and that one's not, and heavyish, and that one's not. Right, so we have 4 plants in episode 1 of the KnobsandBlobs2 mega haul. I should try saying that in much more ominous tones, really, shouldn't I? Mega haul. That just sounded silly, didn't it? Right, I won't do that again. Right, what is this? Any guesses? I'll tell you what I think this is. I think this is a gasteria. Because those strong, broad leaves, and it is a gasteria. And it is a very broad-leaved gasteria. It's a magnificent plant, actually. Now, as ever, a bit like the furrowcacti situation, I do more or less know what this plant is, and I believe it to be Gasteria platyphila. But what I will do is I will check when the time becomes available, and I will identify exactly what that plant is. But I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because there are very few Gasteria that would have leaves of such width. Now that leaf is about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches wide, and the whole plant is about 10 to 12 centimeters across in a typical normal Gasteria disticus construction, the typical two-sided or two-dimensional morphology that you see with Gasterias, and all but about half a dozen lose this disticus construction as they grow, in parallel to many aloes, of course, and assume in their mature guise a much more rosette-form construction. But that's the first one. I believe that to be a Gasteria platyphila. Okay, I'll place that one down, and we'll do a flyby at the end of the exercise. Now, this is a little bit heavier for its size. Again, I must point out with with Benjamin's deliveries, incredibly well protected and padded. I mean, almost to the point of excess. But there's never an excess when it comes to protecting either plants or books. I don't care how much protection they have. I really don't. I'm not one of these people who complains to Amazon that there's too much padding on items, because when I've paid good money, which I've worked hard for these things, I do expect them to arrive in pristine condition. And with Benjamin's deliveries, pristine is what you get. And the second delivery is a lovely little clump. I know what this is. And this is a hybrid between Haworthia truncata and Haworthia morganii, or truncata subspecies morganii. A very, very well rooted set of roots there. So they've come, because of the way it's been packed, it's obviously compressed the roots into the base of the plant. But I'll actually tease those roots out and extend them down into the pot when I come to plant them. So it'll be going into a pot something like this, and the roots, as you can see, will reach most of the way down the pot, which is something I'm fond of. I like roots to go down the bottom of the pot. So there we are. Lovely, lovely hybrid, Haworthia truncata by morganii, or by truncata subspecies morganii, depending upon which particular classification guru you choose to follow. Which prophet of botany is the word that you make your law. Me, I have an open mind on these things, you know. I think species are very plastic concepts, and I think the original idea of species, that a particular animal or plant or a fungus was ring-fenced into its own identity, and of course later on with the advent of genetics, and then we have a very, very, very nice, very dark-spined Gymnocalycium, which, unless I miss my mark, would be Gymnocalycium baldianum, a very, very, very dark-skinned form, and that is also a very, very lovely plant. Okay, very dark-skinned. There's some offsets coming out there, happily from the side. Lovely plant, Gymnocalycium baldianum. Okay, so I'll place that down. So that's 3 of 4. Now this is lighter, and I think I know what this is from its general demeanour. Not likely to be a cactus because the weight is not sufficient to match the volume. And this is a plant, I believe, or I could be wrong. I have told you before, I have been wrong before. 1963 it was, Thursday. Very, very dark day indeed. And this is a lovely little clump of a plant which most people will know as Gasteria lilliputana, and indeed you could still call it that, but this would now be known more appropriately as Gasteria bicolor. In America you may say bicolor, who knows, but I would say bicolor. Gasteria bicolor, subspecies lilliputana. And all the comments about roots would still apply. I'll tease these roots out of this root ball here and spread them out in the pot. And that's an absolutely gorgeous little clump, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, I can't count them, but there's about 12 to 15 mini heads in that clump there. So I've got three clumps really here from the old Liliaceae, the Asparagales family. So we have, let's see, what do we have? We have that wonderful Gasteria there, which I believe, although I will verify this, to be platyphilla. Very large plant, some 10 to 12 centimeters across, so above 4 inches. I think in his description on eBay, Benjamin actually said 4 inches, but it's bigger than that. And those incredibly wide leaves, and the width is absolutely astonishing. There we are, gorgeous, large growing Gasteria. I'll put that one down there. And then we have that very, very dark skinned, and if you're a regular viewer to these videos, you know just what a fan I am of these dark skinned specimens of cacti here. So this is, I believe, Gymnocalycium baldianum, and Benjamin did say in his description on the auction site that this was a particularly dark skinned form, and he's not wrong. Again, this would be slightly larger than apple sized, I would describe this as. Lovely, lovely plant. And then we have the first of our clumps. This is Haworthia truncata hybrid, hybridized with Morganii. Nicely done. Lovely, lovely plant. Thick leaves, tightly clustered together, and each of the leaves is a terminal window. Now, if I turn it in different ways in the light, we don't have much light today, you may just see the light starting to come through the top of those windows. That transparent parenchyma at the top of the plant, which allows the light to penetrate through to the lowest level of the leaves, even when the plant is buried in the wind-blown sand of the sunburnt karoo. There we are. I sounded a bit like Rudyard Kipling there, didn't I? The sunburnt karoo. Right, and the final clump was that lovely, really very verdant and healthy looking Gasteria. Gasteria bicolor, subspecies lilliputana. Again, the whole clump would be some 4.5 to 5 inches across, with what was originally one main plant, you can see there, and then 2 or 3 offsets came from there, and now there are offsets upon the offsets upon the offsets. Lovely, lovely plant. There we are. So that's 4 plants in the first part of the 3-part mega haul. That's small Gasteria, clumping nicely, lilliputana. We have that fantastic hybrid Haworthia truncata, hybridized with Morganii or subspecies Morganii. We have that very dark skinned and now offsetting Gymnocalycium baldianum. There we are, lovely symmetrical gymnocalycium shape. And then we have that final very broad-leaved gasteria. So that's the first part of the mega haul done. If you've enjoyed it, and I hope you have, and if you've liked it, and I hope you have, please do signify thus, say that you've liked it, subscribe, share with your friends. When I get these plants potted up, please do check out the high resolution pictures on Kirkstone Botanica 2007 on Instagram. There's something like over 300 images now of specimen plants in glorious high definition for you to peruse and hopefully catalyse your own collecting. Put some energy back into a hobby which has become a bit moribund lately with the dark, cool weather. Has been a little bit depressing here. So do like, please subscribe. It is so important to us that you subscribe. And as I always say, a final entreaty to send us pictures of your own plants, please. Stick them up on the Kirkstone Botanica Facebook page. We love to see them. We love to talk about plants. The more conversation, the better. Right, so it's back to work now. Thank you very much indeed. That's goodbye from Kirkstone for the now. I'll see you soon for the second thrilling instalment. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you on YouTube soon. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.